Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Just want to do this quick introduction to tell you guys that there's a lot of machining coming forward in this video. A lot of you guys have asked for us to show you some behind the scenes of some of the custom builds that we do with some of the companies that we work with. Well, that's going to be this video. Just be aware that sometimes a lot of machine work and stuff can get repetitive, so if that's something you don't enjoy, we will be having 2 more videos with this gun. One will be, of course, the assembly of the gun. The other will be us at the range, with the range report from this gun. This is going to be a custom gun built by Advanced Weapons Technologies. Don Fraley is the owner. This will be the TE, or the Tactical Existence package. You can also order from Don a la carte and have it built any way you want it. If you want a tri-top, if you want the raider cuts, the front serrations, however you want, a railed gun, whatever you want, you can do that as well. But just be advised, there's a lot of machine work coming up. And also we wanted to make you guys aware that we cannot show the whole building process from start to finish because that would be a several day video. So a lot of the, rough fitment was done off camera just to save time. But a lot of you guys have asked for this. We hope you enjoy it. This is the custom 1911 that Don built for us. This is the gun you're going to be seeing built in this video. We hope you guys enjoy it, and make sure you stay tuned for 2 other videos we're going to have coming up about this gun. One will be Don assembling the gun, and the other one will be, of course, the interview with Don. You do want to see that. Don's a very interesting character. He's done a lot in his life. I think you guys will really enjoy it. The other video will be us at the range showing you guys how this gun runs. So, really nice firearm, guys. We hope you really enjoy the video. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so we are getting started on my Raider here. I'm here with Don, and he's already started the checkering, and he's going to be doing some fine tuning on the checkering here. You can see he's got it laid out and got the rough stuff done. He's going to get in and start it here. You can go ahead and Don.
Okay, well, I'll start the single point cutting of each line.
And guys, there's not a whole lot of guys out here hand checkering anymore. That's just, one of the skills that Don has. Don's been doing this a very long time and knows what he's doing.
And this will determine how sharp each line is, and that is also based on the customer's preference.
And what's the material you have on there so you can actually tell what you're doing?
It's called Dykem Layout Blue. It's a common machinist layout blue, and it lets you see where you've scribed or cut or marked an item.
And how long have you been doing this, Don?
Been doing it for 30 years.
30 years experience right here.
And then you can look at the diamonds and you can tell which ones you've hit and which ones you need to go back and clean up. So when I'm done, I physically look down this line to make sure that all those little end cuts are in line with each other. And it takes a little while to develop that skill.
Get the eye for it.
Yes. Yeah. But then you can go back with this bluing, this layout blue, and if you've got one that's a little shorter than the rest, you can clean it up.
Seeing that Don was doing the checkering, getting that all done, as you can see, all done with that. Came out great, by the way. That is about, what'd you say, Don, about a 4-hour job from start to finish?
It is.
So about 4 hours of work just on getting the checkering done. But you can see here we're with the blank slide and frame here. And then the next step, we're going to be going through, and Don's going to be fitting the frame to the slide and fitting the beaver tail and
hard to see what I'm doing holding this camera. But the mag flare and the mainspring housing and all that. Just basically fitting all the parts, and we'll take you to that next.
Tell us exactly what's going to be happening here, Don.
Sure. So I use a lot of the high grip memory type, memory groove beaver tails. Ed Brown is probably one of the biggest suppliers of these. And they come with a 250 thousandths circle or radius, which is a 1/2 inch inscribed circle total. So I take a little fitting jig and I put it on my belt sander, and I'm going to get this radius fairly close. And then I'm actually going to hand fit this beaver tail to that frame.
Right.
So we're going to walk over here and
All right.
go to the Now this was actually made for hand filing, but it's so much quicker on a belt sander if you stay off of your jig.
Right.
And just for time expedience and so forth, I use the belt sander. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put this on, which it'll go, but the pin won't line up yet, and I mark it. I try to get a little witness mark on it. And get my close-up glasses on. And then I see the witness marks where it's rubbed. And at that point, I take my Dremel tool and I slowly start hand fitting it. And I want to use a real fine wheel on it. All right, now we're going to try this. See if it goes in. It looks pretty good, but the key is, will the safety go in? No play, and does it rotate? So that looks pretty good.
Great.
The next thing I'll do is I'll put the mainspring housing combined with the mag well in it, and I pin it in place. And then what I have to do is blend and contour this so we have a nice grip and there's no gaps in it.
Right.
And then I do that over here on this wheel. And there's two ways you have to do this. You have to push out on it to get it blended up here, because when it's in the natural relaxed position, the 3-leaf spring is holding this out, and you don't want a ridge right here. It looks like you didn't know what you were doing.
Right.
So then I hold pressure out on that, and it's just hand-eye coordination. And then, as you can see, with that up, that's perfectly smooth.
Right.
Now I got to hold it down, and I got to blend all this in. feel it to make sure that it's got a nice radius, no sharp spots, and it fits your hand very comfortably. Gives you a nice high grip. Sometimes I'll have to take the drum sander and hog this out a lot. It's according to how big the tangs are on the frame at the time.
Right.
This one was fairly close, so it wasn't too bad. So the next thing I have to do is spend a lot of time in actually cutting out the mag well. And I get it close, and then I actually take strips of emery cloth and I hand polish the finish of it. Takes a little while, but gives it a great, a real great look. Go to the actual finish of this, and what I want to do is have a nice roll, very smooth finish, so when you do a fast mag catch or mag change, you don't have any snags or anything, and it'll be a nice smooth entry. And to do that, it's just some good old-fashioned elbow grease. Strips of fine emery cloth. And this will give witness to everything that you didn't do right. This nice fine finish will show where you missed something.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna go back to my Dremel tool, and I'm gonna put what they call a Cratex blending tip. It's got real micro fine polishing pieces in it, and we'll put the final on here.
Final touches, I guess.
That final glass finish on it. And that's what we're looking for right there.
So, finished product, I guess, huh?
Till the finish gets put on it.
And you guys are just seeing, short video of this. So, I mean, it's very time consuming. So it takes quite a bit of time to get all that done right.
Yeah, I had already pre-cut that quite a bit.
Right.
And just kind of showing the tail end of the finished process.
But great. So, what's next?
All right, we're going to fit the frame and slide. And now we do get into the machining.
All right.
And these are rail gauges. And I'm going to determine what size this rail is. Actually, the groove in the rail. So it's not a 115, 116. It's about a 117 or 116 and a half. So I need to know that number. So we know that this number here is 0.117. Now I have to use a rail mic for the slide. to see what my offset is. So I need to cut this part to 0.1195. This is a little cheat sheet I made that helps me with the math.
Right.
I cut this to that. I will check the width next. So the first thing we want to do is put this frame in the vise of the CNC machine. And it's got to be straight and perfectly level in order for us to machine the slide also to fit it.
Right.
So I've got it dialed in here. We're going to do a check here, and as you can see, it's dead level and it's square. So we'll run that back one more time just for the viewers to take a look at it. And that's what is required to get a really good frame and slide fit.
Great. All right.
So we programmed the offsets in the CNC. We need to take a little bit of the height off the frame so that it fits on the slide clearance correctly. So I've got the coordinates plugged in. I've got the CNC machine set up, and we're going to make a cut. And we cut it pretty slow because I like that real nice, real slick finish on it. And as you can see, sometimes even brand new raw frames are not totally square with each other. You cut a little bit here and it's just barely touching the other side. A lot of people think firearms are extremely precise pieces of equipment, but when you take one of them apart and mic it, you'll quickly find out that the tolerances are pretty sloppy. And they have to be, because when they make a factory makes a firearm, every slide has to fit every frame, has to fit every barrel, has to fit every trigger. And in order to do that, they have to make everything kind of sloppy. So they have a big plus or minus tolerance to them. In a custom pistol like this, we simply take all the tolerances out. Put that tool vise on the end of it just as a dampener to make sure I don't get any vibration in the tool. Cut this.
Guess it cuts down on a little bit of chatter and stuff like that.
Sure does. And we've already cut the width of the, just for time expediency, we've already cut the width of this a little bit. So let's see what kind of fit we have. And there you go. Zero play. I'll lap that a little bit.
Wow.
And it'll be an amazing fit.
Yeah, there is no play there, guys.
Nothing in it, and I can still move it, which means when I lap it a little bit. And the thing about it is, my finisher that does the Cerakote, he fusses at me. He tells me that I need to put a little more tolerances in these frames and slides,
Right.
because when he Cerakotes it, it adds 1,000 thickness to all the surfaces, and then I have to hand lap it back.
Right.
But I just cannot make myself cut a sloppy fit, so I lap it twice.
Gotcha.
So we're just going to hand lap here a little bit with some real fine lapping compound. And that's what you want to hear right here. Hear that? That's
Yep.
that slide going all the way back and stopping at the barrel stop in the back. And you can get a lot of 1911s that'll stick back there. That's where they didn't lap it all the way back to the stop. Here's what you want, all the way front to back, no
Yep.
hang-ups.
We're-
It's time to customize this slide.
We're a big fan of one guy being responsible for it all.
Yeah, I can't blame anybody around here, it's only me.
Hey, you need to hire someone to blame, though. It's always good to have somebody to blame.
Need to hire one scapegoat.
All right, so I guess we're gonna go throw the slide on the mill and
We are going to do that.
get going. Starting the cuts on the slide here.
And I use a little aluminum punch. You want them snug, but you don't want them so tight that you have to beat them to death, and this is just about right. I'm gonna take it on over, and you should see the ears of the sight drop in, and there you go.
Oh yeah.
Right down in there. Great fit. That thing will take a lot of punishment because the dovetail's real tight and the screw isn't really holding it in there, so to speak.
Right.
So, nice relief cut. The side is actually protected on both sides right here by the frame, or I'm sorry, by the slide. So if you bang that or hit it real hard, you might damage the leaf, but you won't knock the rear side off of it.
Makes sense.
Okay.
All right, so
All right.
what's next?
I'm gonna take this out, then we're gonna tri-top it and put those raider cuts in it. All right, on 1911 slides, a lot of people don't realize that the slide in 1911 is higher in the back than it is the front. And it's higher by like 1 degree, 3/4 to 1 degree. Because what happens with the barrel parallel in there, it's level. But when it is in the locked and firing position, if you'll notice, the rear of the barrel locks up, which means the front of the barrel is pointing down. If this were level, and your sights were level, the gun will shoot low because the barrel's pointing down. So the back of the slide is raised slightly so that when you level your sights, technically you're leveling the barrel. So if I want to flatten and serrate the top of this slide like I'm getting ready to,
Right.
I've got to offset it somehow because it's going to run out. So many years ago, I designed this jig. I used to sell a lot of them to the Brownells for other gunsmiths. And what you do is put your slide on this. This one's a new one. It hasn't been fitted, so I don't know if it'll slide on there or not. It might a little bit. So I'll set this on here, and I'll run a dial indicator on here, and this will let this thing move. It pivots on the center one, and when I have it dead square, I lock it down. This one has already been set.
It's awesome.
It takes the guesswork out of slide flattening and serrating. And I'm going to slide this one in here, lock it down, and we're going to flatten it.